Let's chat. It's hard. You want to talk? I know, that's disappointing. Sit back. Let's work this out. How's it going? What are we doing here? Where are you going? Hey there. Wow. It's not always easy. It's amazing if you think about it. Let's think about this. Strange. I have some thoughts about that. Life is hard. Trauma bonded.
Weirdly, last week we talked about what topic area I would be triggered by and would need a trigger warning for.
Oh,
It happened this week.
you need a trigger warning for this one.
Yeah, because of the animal, for sure. Remember last week I said I don't want to listen to stories about animals being hurt?
Oh, but did you already know that this was going to happen?
Yeah.
Full disclosure.
I'm living in the now, man. Welcome to Trauma Bonded. I'm Elly Westberg here with Therese Garcia.
Hello.
And today we're discussing episode 346 of the podcast. This is actually happening. What if you risked your life to save animals? That's a working title.
It's, yeah.
Another possible title is What if dog was your co-pilot?
Yeah. Yeah.
Not big into bumper sticker culture. Anywhoosie. And actually neither of those is the actual working title. I think we actually figured it out right before we started recording. It's going to be something like, what if you risked your freedom to liberate every animal?
Ooh, I like that one the best.
Right? That's good. Okay.
Yeah, that was good. Ooh. Yeah.
I'm glad you like it. Okay. A brief summary. Wayne's family fled China, then Taiwan to end up in Illinois and Indiana.
Ugh. Which nation, right?
Big egg. Wayne faced a lot of racism and othering from kids and made friends with animals. He's wicked smart and went to the best schools and ended up a lawyer and in academia, but he found the work empty. He considers unaliving himself, but decides to dedicate his life to saving animals instead. Thus begins his life of entering spaces illegally to document cruelty and to liberate the tortured souls he finds. And full disclosure, I'm the showrunner for This Is Actually Happening, and T doesn't work on the show, but she's still a wonderful person.
Wow.
But she still comes in fresh. And this show, Trauma/Bonded, is for the listeners, a space where we can talk about each episode, digest it, and reflect on it with empathy and also a bit of levity. That's Trauma Bonded. T, what stuck out to you is the heart of Wayne's story.
Thank you, Elly. I went again with one word. I'm going to stick to it this year with one word. And I went with the word breed.
Okay.
There are several definitions to the word breed.
I think of London Breed.
Oh.
Former mayor of San Francisco.
That, I didn't, that's funny. That's not,
it's not on your page.
It's not on my page. I have a lot of
breed.
I didn't think of that. Thank you, Elly.
You're welcome.
Always out of the box. I like that.
It's me.
I went first with the most obvious.
Dog breeds.
Yes. Animals within a species, e.g. dog breeds. And also I connected that to identity a little bit. And when you think about our storyteller, I was thinking about identity and culture and how when he came to the U.S. as an immigrant, feeling different, looking different, maybe sounding different and being othered. That was something he was dealing with. Another definition of breed, developed for a purpose. Like you're bred for a sport. You're like a horse is bred for sport or something. Purpose, for a purpose. He couldn't find his purpose, right? Through all this academia you were saying, right? Bred for career success. All this, but he wanted to follow his heart, and save these animals and focus on that. And then there's breed as into produce or reproduce. When he talks about our collective consciousness, we as a collective, he was saying we breathe this delusion that it's okay to treat animals a certain way, or for people like us, we just don't see it happening every day. So surely it's just not happening, right? So yeah, that's why I chose the word breed.
Yeah. feel like you hit on a lot of big topics that we're going to talk about.
Because of doggies as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's good, T.
Thank you. What was your heart of the story, Elly?
It was something around how do you change people's hearts and minds?
Mm,
What
yeah.
will we do when we find purpose? What is life for, if not for fighting for the underdog or the voiceless? Underdog.
Underdog.
Oh, you could use that one as your word too. How strong is apathy? How can I make a difference or affect change? And the thing that I think sticks out to me the most about Wayne, and he says it at the end, is like he has nothing. He lives on a living room floor in an apartment in San Francisco. He owes Waysay is in debt to the tune of $500,000.
He has less than nothing.
He's facing legal consequences, and he's happy as fuck because he's saved lives. Is there anything more powerful than saving a life? And I get it. Once maybe you've had that, when you see, wow, I have this agency and this power to really affect the life of one living thing, it's probably addictive. Like that's all you want to do because everything else seems so meaningless. Doesn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Seems way worth more than making a bunch of money behind a desk for no reason.
Exactly. Or worrying about an animal ruining your $4,000 couch or something.
Oh,
All that stuff means
completely
nothing.
meaningless.
Yeah. So yeah, we're gonna try to stick to like big ideas instead of doing the line by line that we've been talking about. Kudos to the US military in Taiwan. Since I rail on systems of oppression all the time, I figure I should give them a compliment when they're owed one.
Yeah.
There's a lot of interesting history that he talks about with regard to his, which sounds like an aristocratic family, falling on the wrong side of communism, having to flee their country, and they end up in the US, and his dad is in organic chemistry. Mom has never left the tropics and never faced cold and had to go to the fucking Midwest. But when he talks about what bowled him over in the US was just the sheer abundance, space, food, the fact that we can have meat at every meal. These are all luxuries to a lot of people around the world. I think the space one sticks out to me the most. You know, we think we have a family, mom, dad, 2 kids. Sorry, mom, 2 kids, 3 kids. We got to have a 4,000 square foot house. Do we? Most people in the world don't live
No,
like that.
I don't know.
But that's kind of a thing that we like in America. We need big spaces.
Yeah.
And the luxury that it is to have meat at every meal. And I think we're going to talk a lot today about meat, eating meat,
Mm-hmm.
the ethics around it. What do we do with it? When you're given info, what do you do with it? We all eat. So it's something that faces all of us. We all have to make these decisions. You know, they say if you can give up at least a few meals of meat,
Yeah.
you're helping the bigger picture, right? Maybe you can't go fully vegan, but do you have to eat a steak every night for dinner? You know, I know you're thinking, yes,
No, are you telling me?
yeah,
No, I'm feeling bad.
about all the meat you've eaten, about how we literally just ate pork right before coming.
I wasn't going to say anything. I was trying not to say that.
Full disclosure, bitch. T's wife made me eat pork before I came in this room.
Yeah, force fed.
Um,
She said it was tofu and then she ate it. And then it's like, it was pork. What? It was like that. Was it like that?
Yeah.
Was that what happened?
exactly what it was like. You're a first generation American. Your parents, they came from the Philippines.
Mhm.
Did they ever comment about these kinds of things they noticed about America?
No, they fit right in. I don't know what happened, but they expected it to be like this and
Yeah, and they went with it.
they went with it.
Fish and water.
I think they had the same idea that coming to the US was amazing. It was the dream,
And it was.
and it was, and they
Became American.
and they became American, and they made me an American, and yeah.
Yeah. So at some point he has to the family moves to Eli Lilly, which I knew he was gonna bring up Indiana, and he's absolutely right. Indiana is not very diverse. That is true.
And, when my dad came to America,
He went
he
to
went
for
straight to Indiana.
Right.
What is this? Why is everyone going to Indiana?
I don't know.
I don't know.
This made me sad. Wayne talked about how he was kind of told that he was the super happy, curious kid,
Yeah.
and then these racist fucktwats basically bullied it right out of him. It makes me sad to think about, this kid, your kid a certain way in the house, and then you see how they come home different because of the way they're affected by other kids.
Yeah.
How heartbreaking.
It's a little first grader.
I know. But he's othered, he's ridiculed, he's bullied. He talks about shaking getting on the bus, and the bus is the scariest place on earth, and I couldn't agree more. It used to scare the Jesus out of me. Anytime there weren't
Adult.
adults supervising kids, it scared me to death because it felt like you're just an open target.
Gosh, I'm so glad I was brought up in San Francisco. Not
Mhm.
everyone was white.
Yeah, totally. Yeah, he's in fucking buttfuck
I
Indiana.
know. I mean, I was a weirdo for many other ways. You know, don't get me wrong.
But he talks about no matter what the kids did to him, animals wouldn't hurt him.
Yeah.
As a young person, as a kid, he already saw that animals love unconditionally. It feels like that was his coping mechanism, was to go to animals to feel that love and support and comfort that he wasn't getting from people.
And you can already hear him kind of get emotional when he's talking about the beagle.
Yeah, the neighbor's dog that loved him. We don't deserve dogs.
I know.
I'm jumping ahead real quick, but it really stuck out to me at the end when he's talking about going to that place in Madison, Wisconsin. They saw all kinds of dogs in terror, psychotic, traumatized, but then there were the dogs wagging their tails. Even though humans had hurt them, they were still excited to see humans. That's how forgiving and loving
Yeah.
a dog is. Like, even when you've hurt it, it still wants to be close to you. Oh, it's
It's
like, it's
heartbreaking.
heartbreaking. So they did this trip to China.
Yeah.
Oh, and he, like, threw in there that, his dad killed animals with his own hands. Is that something that you do in bio was bioengineering or whatever field he was in? Did you catch that?
When did he do that?
He talked about how he worked in a lab where they killed animals, and his own father had killed animals with his own hands. Anywhoosie, so they went to this Wild Earth restaurant, and this is where he sees dogs in cages. Dogs being prepped basically like a lobster in a cage at Red Lobster when you point to it, or in a tank. You're like, "Oh, that guy." It's the same thing.
What?
I wanna eat that beagle for
I
dinner.
know, I know, I know.
And it was traumatizing to him. He said to him, it was like if you knew children were in cages about to be murdered.
It's traumatizing.
And how impotent you feel as a kid when you see these animals cowering in fear and your instinct is to set them free,
Yeah, and you're powerless at
and you
that point.
can't do it. What does that do to you as a kid? As a person, to see something suffering and in fear and being terrorized, and all that you need to do is open the door and let them out, and you don't do it. You can't do it. Every municipality on the planet says that you can own a pet and you can do with it or you can own an animal and do with it what you want. Now there are laws that, talk about, like, how to humanely treat that animal, but maybe not there. I mean, it was just a source of food. It was like if we walked by a pig in a cage and said we want I don't know. It's normal. We eat meat.
Right.
If you had to go and slaughter your dinner every day, if we were forced to do that, I guarantee you
Yeah.
most people wouldn't eat it.
Remember when we killed the chicken? Well, yeah, we've talked about this. We killed the chicken and then we ate the
I killed a
chicken.
chicken.
I think I killed a chicken and then we ate the chicken.
I killed crabs.
Yeah, we killed crabs and then we ate the crabs.
Yeah. But what if you had to do that every meal? What if we had to go kill a little piggy to eat what we just ate? I don't know, I'm getting off topic, but
It's a lot. It's a lot.
it's a lot. But just to see an animal, to be a child and being told, "No, that's just the way the world is. You can't set that animal free." What does that do to a kid's psyche? I hate the things that kids have to learn. I hate it.
We gotta listen to the kids. We gotta talk to the kids.
Yeah.
Listen, we can't just dismiss the kids all the time.
Kids are
We
all
got
right,
questions.
and they're probably right. He talks about how he kind of has 2 tracks in his life: school, professional, almost a mechanical reaction. Someone else sets a goal for him, he achieves it. And then on the other side of him is, like, just this passion for animals. He hated his life. He had perfect SAT scores. He could went to any school he wanted. He did what authority told him. And he talks about people that live successful but fake lives. What does that mean?
This isn't what he wants to do. He has no passion for it. I'm so glad that he just listened to what he wanted to do and what he was in his own heart.
I know. And so many of us see it clearly in our own selves. We're afraid to reject convention. He had his PhD, he was a lawyer, but he had no purpose.
I think too, I mean, not to generalize, at least for me, I don't know if it's Asian cultures or what. A lot of times, at least in the Filipino culture, it was like, my dad was an engineer. He was like, well, be doing the math thing. He was a math professor
Yeah.
and an engineer. He's like, "You're good at math, do the math thing." And I was like, "No, I'm not." You know, big secret.
Fuck you, Dad. I'm gonna be an artist.
But he was a secret artist too, you know, so he actually was okay with it. And my mom was kind of okay with it too.
Yeah.
So it ended up working out. But really, they were brought up in a culture that was like, you got to be doing the career thing. We brought you to the US to do the career thing. We're not just so you can draw. Wait, I'm sorry, you're going to go to art school and major in drawing. Okay.
It probably helped though you went to the most prestigious art school in the world. If you went to like Ho-Dunk Junior College for drawing, I doubt you they would have
No.
been like as excited about it.
Well, I don't
And
know.
I'm
They
not
didn't even know.
not
They didn't
poo-pooing it.
know. I'm just saying that those cultures
Yeah.
sometimes are really pressuring you.
Especially immigrant kids. Yeah. We brought you here. You have every opportunity open to you and you wanna what?
So you'd say the dogs now?
He talked about it. He was good at achieving goals other people set for him.
Mm-hmm.
He was a very good machine. Ooh, think about that.
Very.
Think about that. Whose machine are you? Whose machine are you?
Be your own machine.
So he's working in downtown Chicago, and there's this PETA campaign against Burberry. I mean, have you ever heard of such a thing? Your shit that you think is coyote and fox is actually dog and cat? Like, what the fuck?
It's messed up.
You know, fuck high-end fashion, fuck brands,
Mm-hmm.
fuck fashion brands, fuck fast fashion. I'm just gonna say all the fucks.
Yeah.
And fuck your bags and your shoes that you treat like children. Who gives a fuck? And you know what? Fuck your belt that has that G and the C on it, on the belt buckle. You know what I'm talking about? That every motherfucker on Bravo has? Fuck you. Fuck you and your GC belt.
Oh, wow.
What is that?
I'm sure we have fans who like those things.
Fuck them. I guarantee you that Jamie is not
Yeah.
a GC belt.
She definitely does not, right, Jamie? Sure you
Got more substance.
Oh, I'm sure of it.
And the leafletting made him feel good. It made him feel
Yeah.
like he had a purpose. And he talked about how he wanted to be a lawyer that worked as a lawyer, but there aren't working lawyers that write about animals because they're an owned commodity, and owned commodities don't have voices in capitalism. I'm mad at myself too. I said fuck fast fashion. I feel like I do fast fashion. This is quite nice. This is very nice.
This is really
No,
nice.
I can tell. I'm wearing a shirt that T and Gwen got me for Christmas, and it's very nice, high quality. Actually, this was made locally in San Francisco.
Oh, okay. So it's the mix.
But it's affordable, but it's not. It's at least made locally
Okay.
and by like people. And I wear the fuck out of it. And then Hillary got me these socks. And they say California.
Okay.
And I stole these shoes from my sister, so I feel like I'm doing okay. I feel like someone brought me this. Oh no, I got this in Peru.
Okay, well that's
That was made by
legit.
handmade by an artisan.
Yeah.
What do you got, T?
Uh-oh.
Uh-oh. Well, you got your child labor shoes on.
Oh, I'm
Well, it's probably child labor. Well,
got my school sweatshirt
looks
on.
like a kindergarten class made the clothes and dressed T. She's not wearing that GC belt buckle. What the fuck that is. So there's this big turning point that happens when he sees a dead body. Hello.
Oh, yeah.
And he wants to be it. And he figures, instead of unaliving myself, I'm going to live my life the way I want to. I'm basically going to give my life, because by all intents and purposes, whatever Wayne was bred to do, he's abandoned it. It is dead. That Wayne is dead. And the Wayne that emerges is this Wayne that is going to give his life to save all of the animals. But seriously, what is that? Do you know what that GC is on the belt buckle? And do you know what I'm talking about at all?
I'm not sure I know what you're talking about. What is it, like a Gucci or something? What's a G?
But what's the C stand for?
Is that the C part of Gucci? What? I don't get it. Did they misspell Gucci?
This one. Oh, it is Gucci.
Yeah. I just thought because there's a G and a C and
Oh, they're two G's. This knockoff one.
it looks exactly the same. Do
$550 for a belt, you guys. Come on.
What is it?
And everyone has it.
So the other one looks exactly the same. Right?
No, it's still different.
How's it? All right.
So he lives on the south side of Chicago. He sees this animal slaughterhouse, basically, and he's always driven past it. He says he's going to go take one of these lambs.
Yeah.
And it's very much like Silence of the Lambs, if you recall that movie. When her father died, she got sent to live with her aunt and uncle on a farm. And that she used to hear him crying in the night.
The lambs?
Yeah. And when she was running away, she tried to take one of the lambs with her, but she said it was too heavy. She's like, I couldn't lift it. It was too heavy.
Wow. No, I don't remember.
Have you seen the movie? It's from like 1991.
No, I remember. I just don't remember that.
Oh, it's called The Silence.
I know. I wondered why it was called Silence of the Lambs.
The later Hannibal Lecter says to her, tell me, Clarice, have the lambs stop screaming? Because it's like until she solves this crime, she can't
Oh.
she can't rid herself of the childhood trauma of losing her father. It's a much deeper film than people give it credit for. Anywho, turns out lambs are heavy.
Yeah. Like, wow. Long story short.
Clarice Starling gets it. Wayne talks about being really close to this suffering and fear and feeling so empowered that he can change that. And he has this focus of, I will save one animal. And that's powerful and it's possible. I myself just adopted 2 kitties. And
Congratulations.
thank you.
I'm excited. She hasn't let us meet the kitties yet. We keep asking, but I don't even know if it's true yet. You might be lying. Maybe like she doesn't want us to meet them. Like she thinks our children will kill them or something. It's like she doesn't trust us.
Of course, I trust your children, T.
Should I bring one in at a time or something? You want to do it that way?
We're trying to get them used to us. And I want to give them the space to
You
really.
actually like me. And actually, they like our kids too. We have neighborhood cats. They're very gentle with the cats.
I believe you.
Do you?
Kind of.
I can see the fear in your eyes.
No, I want you.
Very empowering to see the fear in your eyes right now.
I want you all to meet the kitties.
Right now?
No, I'm going to post a picture of them. So basically, from this experience, he decides he's got to get to know animals. So his apartment kind of becomes a farm. And he's thinking about the moral dynamics, the legal dynamics, and thinking about the legal theory behind the justification of rescuing these animals. And he's thinking about this movement, and he talks about how empirical studies show that the most effective way to build a movement is through
Getting friends.
strong friendship.
Yeah.
And he's a loser, so he's got to learn to make friends. But
This is when the montage happens in my head
yeah. Oh, it's a
of his movie.
It's a great montage.
The ultimate,
Yeah.
the punk shows. This is when it really comes together.
To him, it's like he has nothing to lose because it's not that they're rejecting him.
Yeah.
They're rejecting this cause that he feels really passionate about. So these animals are so important to him that he's willing to overcome his shyness to make connections with people.
This is a great way to make friends, by the way.
Ultimate Frisbee.
I'm not saying ultimate frisbee and punk shows. I'm saying
Veganism.
I'm not actually saying any of this. But like, none of those things actually. Wait. No, I'm talking about like that purpose. Like, oh my God, we should do this thing or whatever. Having a common.
Oh, yeah.
That's the way to do it.
The irony is, though, you're attracted to animals because people suck. But then you realize in order to save these animals that you love so much, you kind of have to get people involved again. So it's a big. Ugh. He loses his mom to a brain tumor, which is really sad. And it sounds like he starts to get choked up even talking about it in the episode. But this brought them out to California. And him and his vegan compatriots are realizing they need bolder action. Like what, T?
YouTube, poems. Getting out there, getting viral.
Should we watch Truth Matters on YouTube?
Have you watched it?
No.
Yeah, let's do it. Right now?
No. So he's starting to develop this legal theory that it's not a crime, what they're doing, breaking into places and filming or rescuing. It's the corporate actors that are the bad actors. They're the criminals. And the intention is to build a system to save animals. Fucking Whole Foods, man.
Those tricksters.
Tricky. They basically show the egg farms are not they are not as they've been marketed.
They're showing those kids, just hold it right. Oh, it's so beautiful. I
love my little chicken. He gives me an egg every day and I just put it right in the carton for you.
Now all exposed.
And the reaction from people overall, I mean, it got a lot of attention. New York Times, Michael Pollan. We saw Michael Pollan speak at local library.
Years ago.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
totally.
Pollen.
Yeah.
But people's overall feeling was, if they're lying, stop the lying. Instead of, wait,
Hey.
what are we doing to animals?
Yeah. Hey. Yeah.
So
Didn't get the point there, it seems like.
they kind of missed the point.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's bad marketing, but what are they doing to the animals?
Wait a minute.
Oh, that's bad marketing. Oh, that's your reaction? Bad marketing. Let's talk about the Ealing Dog Festival in China.
Oh, yeah.
And he does go into this explanation about how these larger economic forces are making this happen. Basically, if a big outfit pushes out a small guy when it comes to pig farming, that small guy still has to
Mhm.
think about his livelihood and taking care of his family. So if they can't do the pigs, they're going to turn to dogs. And he's saying, I don't blame these people, these actors. They're not evil people. The systems are the problem, because it's still, vulnerable people at the bottom just trying to make it in the world. They probably don't want to kill anything, but if that's the business you've ended up in, you're gonna, if you can't kill one thing, you're probably gonna kill something else. Can I present an argument to you for beating a dog to death?
Yes.
Good.
I'm excited. And it's gonna work out. Is that part of the healthy?
Oh, the beating of the dog.
Yeah.
Damn T.
Right? That was part of it too. Arm workout. Arm day.
Is this really?
Why is it that? Well, real quick though, because he just put in the beating part. He just like threw that in there.
Is that?
Is that part of it? Like, why does that have to be part of it?
It sounds like a really
Like you have to do that part.
ineffective way to kill a lot of animals, doesn't it?
Yeah, right.
I don't
I don't know why you'd have to do it that.
Okay, let me ask you this.
Okay.
And forget about the episode, just think about it
Come in
as
fresh.
T.
Okay.
Is there an ethical way to kill and eat animals?
This is hard because I feel like I need to unlearn everything that I've learned because it's hard. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
Because, but I'm thinking there's a right answer here.
Not necessarily. You eat meat, right?
I do eat meat.
Is there an ethical way to kill and eat animals?
Why are you looking at me so mad?
Subpoint B, is there an ethical way to kill and eat your dog, Jackie?
I feel like there's a right answer here. Just wait, because he's so tasty
And healthy.
and healthy. Ask me another one.
Those are my questions.
Oh, those are all the questions? So furry.
I think that I'll just speak for myself.
Okay.
In my mind, I assume that every animal that I eat has been well loved and taken care of, and then lulled to sleep by a powerful narcotic, and it just falls asleep, and
I don't think
just
that's what happened.
dies in its sleep.
I think they died of old age after having a lovely, lovely life with their families
They just fall asleep and never
in the
wake up.
arms of their loved ones who also died of old age.
See, it's
Is that what happened?
absurd, but I think
Is that what happened? That's what happened.
right? We don't investigate this for ourselves, I think, because we don't want to know. I think that if we really saw the processes around how we get this food, it would change us deeply. But we see it in a sanitized, wrapped in plastic, price per pound, sort of
Yeah.
clean, well-lit grocery store.
Yeah.
And all of the death and suffering and fear is
Yeah.
eradicated from that visual. But if we really think about how we get this food, it's bad.
It's bad.
So and Ealing has this open air market, this wet market. I hate that word, wet market. Isn't that gross sounding?
Gross.
Who wants wet
Why would it
food?
wet?
I don't know. Because of the blood? Should we look it up?
Why is it wet market?
Yeah, let's look it up. What is a wet market? Is a marketplace selling fresh foods such as meat, fish, produce, and other consumption-oriented perishable goods in a non-supermarket.
Okay, there's pictures.
Don't look at pictures.
I'm not looking. It came up.
Okay.
Pictures came up. So
No, it's just gross. Wet.
yeah.
I don't like wet around my food.
Unless it's like a wet burrito.
So they decide they're gonna go into this open air wet market in China and Ealing, and they've got these expensive cameras in the slaughterhouse, and they know that the only way to change hearts and minds is for people to see visually what's happening to these dogs. And he hides in a bathroom for hours, and it's not like he's going to see, like, a movie, he's going to see animals be tortured and murdered. One night, he's hanging outside a window, a worker screams when she sees him, he says, "I need" oh,
Oh, was there a bathroom?
I was looking for the bathroom. The cops grab him, the worker lady actually yells at the cops, hands off, and that gives him this chance to get away, but eventually, when they go back for the cameras, they are arrested, and it sounds like they were turned in by their landlord, but the landlord keeps care of the dogs while they go to jail, which is a nice detail, and I love it that he was like he didn't give a fuck about himself, he didn't care that he was gonna be interrogated by Chinese police, he only cared, like, "Can you make sure to feed and water my dogs while I'm gone?" Oh, that's sweet. And their cameras and shit are encrypted, and the Chinese military or police delete it, but they dumb, and they didn't really delete it.
You gotta empty the trash, guys.
And he walks into the apartment, and the dogs are still alive, and Oliver is so happy. I mean, you think about Oliver is just beginning this new life, and all Wayne was thinking about, he's just starting this new life, and now what's gonna become of him? But he was still there, and he was so happy, and dogs like being hugged by us.
Mhm.
They do.
I do.
But the Ealing Dog Festival is over. There's change though. This worldwide change came about. And that trade is banned. That dog trade is banned.
That's amazing. Yeah.
But out of that spawned anti-Chinese vitriol because of course
Racist.
fucking racist, man. Racism, racists love to be racist. And they always look for opportunity. It's just so easy. And guess what, racist? It's the whiteys in the Midwest. Oh, everyone's so friendly in the Midwest that are way worse because we torture these dogs for 7 years instead of just having them like wait in a cage for a couple weeks till we beat them to death and eat them. What is worse, the Chinese or the whiteys in Wisconsin doing what they're doing? Like, fuck off, your racism. So, anyways, so they go to this Ridgeland Farms in Wisconsin, and to enter and hear the dogs, it would be too much to take for me. When we went to meet the cats at the animal shelter, you can just go and, like, look at the dogs in their rooms, and Scott was doing it, and I couldn't do it. Like, I started to walk down the hallway, and I was like, "I can't." They're just so sad in there.
So sad in there?
They're so sad, and they have, like, full rooms with, like, beds and stuff. It's a really nice facility, but, like,
But they're sad.
they're sad.
Cute in there?
They're cute and sad. It just breaks my heart. I couldn't believe I was like, "I
Why
can't,"
didn't you get a dog?
'cause I just feel like I'm gone too much, and we lived in an apartment, and I just didn't feel right doing that to a dog. Cats are so fucking easy. Like, I didn't even fully realize how easy cats are. They poop inside.
Oh, I know.
You never have to take them for a walk. You just feed them and clean up the litter
More
box.
like snuggle up.
But Wayne talks about how their paws hurt from standing on just the wire
Yeah.
cage, and they're acting psychotic, and they're traumatized, and some are excited to see them. And there's Julie, the blind beagle. And like I said earlier, they've been abused by humans, and they're still happy to see some. Fuck animal abusers. Fuck them all to hell. Just because they're owned doesn't mean you get to do what the fuck you want to them.
Mhm.
And this facility was violating the law. And 3 years later, the government acts, and what do? They charge Wayne and his people because of capitalism.
Yeah.
But they weren't stolen, they were rescued.
Yeah.
And this is when Wayne starts talking about, like, legal standing and this idea that in order to, like, be representative in a court of law, you have to have legal standing. And he brings about the example of the chair. A chair doesn't have legal standing because it can't advocate for itself, just like an animal only has legal standing in accordance to its owner, if the owner was wrong because of something that happened to the animal. But when the owner doesn't take care of the animal, then where does the legal precedent lie? Who has the legal standing? And this is the question that Wayne is probing. And if a legal system doesn't differentiate between a chair and a dog, something is, like, deeply flawed there. And he felt like they were gonna make progress or win, but the DA dropped their case. There has been an update since this was recorded,
Oh.
and it is a victory. And we will link this article in our show notes. So if you wanna read this article that Wayne sent us about the recent legal standing in this Ridgeland
Ridgeland.
Farms case, go to our show notes to read that. It's a pretty big deal ruling. There's a special prosecutor to decide if the Ridgeland Farms committed crimes. I don't really know exactly what it means, but if you want to read about it, you can find the link there.
It was a victory.
Oh, look at there's a picture. A Dane County judge has ordered the appointment of a special prosecutor to look into the possible filing of criminal charges against a controversial dog breeding and research facility in the town of Blue Mounds. So the court finds probable cause exists that Ridgeland Farms has committed multiple criminal violations of Wisconsin statute, and the court also finds that Dane County District Attorney has refused to issue a complaint related to those allegations. The court will exercise its authority to ensure the important societal interests protected by Wisconsin statute, blah, blah, are properly served. So that's good. Lanford's decision and order sided with a trio of petitioners who asked the court to invoke a state law that allows judges to appoint a special prosecutor in cases where a district attorney refuses or is unavailable to issue a complaint if there is probable cause to believe that a crime has been committed. She said the petitioners, the local animal rights group, Dane for Dogs, and Alliance for Animals, and individual petitioner Wayne Xiong, a San Francisco-based activist, had met this burden of proof. So it's a good ruling. It's progress. But it's really long article, guys. So if you really want to read a lot, you can. We'll put the link in there. So, Wayne has been living on the brink for 30 years, as he puts it. I think he's right. He has been. He's 500,000 in the red. He's living on a living room floor, surrounded by animals, though. He talks about how he rescued dogs and he escaped. He's empowered. He has agency. So the questions that I want to leave this episode with is, what can we do? What part do we play as consumers and humans who eat food?
Mm-hmm.
I was talking to Whit about this today, and he's been vegetarian before in his life. I have been a vegetarian before in my life, and he's gone back to it. And I call myself sometimes vegetarian because I eat a lot of vegetarian. I love tofu. It's true. But what do we do? What part can we play? Is there can we kill and eat animals ethically? Can we make an impact by eating less meat? Can we make an impact by only eating meat maybe that we get from a local butcher and we know exactly what their farm looks like? Like, what do we do? What do you do?
Yeah, these are good questions.
What are you?
Do something.
Are you gonna do anything, T?
I want to do something.
Okay, what are you gonna do?
And I've never done something, so I
Okay.
wanna do something. That's something.
Okay.
Oh, we're gonna do it right now? Say what we're gonna do?
Okay.
Okay, I don't know. What should we do?
I don't know.
I want to do something.
I think the point I'm trying to make is the sanitized version of the way food looks to us in a grocery store or the way it's presented in a restaurant. It didn't come there cleanly. It came there through a destruction of something. And instead of sticking our heads in the sand,
Yeah.
there must be something that can be done. I don't know. That it looks different for everyone. Some people are listening going, there's no fucking way I'm gonna give up the food that I eat. And fine, maybe you can do something else. Thank you for listening. This has been an episode of Trauma Bonded. You can find our show where the podcasts are kept. Please rate and review us. Thanks to Wayne for sharing their story and giving us the opportunity to talk about it. And thanks to This Is Actually Happening team, including Whit and Andrew and Nate and Cathy and Katy. Just listed everyone. Let's search me.
The stuff.
Please subscribe to All the Spot. We are trauma bonded to the story, to the storyteller, to the listeners, and to each other. Again, go on to our show notes if you want to read that article, y'all. Thanks for spending time with us today. Love you, T.
Love you, Elly. Good job. Hey, thank you.
Hey, thank you. Okay. Have a good day.
Thank you.
Trauma Bonded.